All right, good morning, YouTube. It's Caleb Alexander Sponis here. I just wanted to get a little video update out there because it has been a little while. I think today I'm going to talk about when I first started on testosterone, which would have been when I was 20. I'm 28 now, so 8 years ago, I started on the testosterone patch. And I actually was allergic to the adhesive of the patch. Um, my original thought as to why to start with the patch was because I have a fear of needles. Blood draws, all the needles that go deep. I struggle with them. I have a fear of them. I don't know why, and it's getting worse with age. So I figured I'd give it a shot. Yeah, my arms were blistering and red and splotchy where I would have those patches. It wouldn't matter. I mean, I would have to switch it from arm every day, and it was not a good time. It was painful. It hurt. Um, so then my doctor and she's like, we're going to say you're allergic to the adhesive of the patch, so they don't try to say you can't have the testosterone because you're not allergic to the testosterone. It's the adhesive of this. Okay. So because of that, I was then able to go ahead and get approved to get the injections. And then I started injecting. And so far, I'm tolerating the injections just fine. And I have been for years. For a hot minute, I was able to do it myself, and I was so proud. I was giving it to myself in the thighs, and now I cannot do it anymore. I have tried. I'll sit there and it's like a panic, and I can't do it. So thankfully, I have an amazing girlfriend who is more than willing to give me my shot every other week because I chicken out and I can't do it myself anymore. So I am so grateful that I have such an amazing woman that is, more than willing to help me and do that for me. So it's an amazing feeling for sure. I have been on the same dose for quite some time now, so I'm actually looking into reaching out to my doctor, and I need to get some blood work done to check my levels. But I'm thinking that I need to have my dose upped because after I give myself the shot every other week, and normally by the time 3 or 4 days hit before my shot, I start to get cramping in my, lower abdomen area, and it hurts really, really bad. So I don't know if it's just because I need to up my dose or if it's really just going to be I have to have surgery to remove all the old shit down there, that shouldn't belong to me anymore. But planning surgery and having all that, it's just not something that is feasible in the moment. But I'm hoping that we can get my dose upped, and that will help subside some of that for now. But other than that, I mean, I haven't had any issues while taking the testosterone. So I'm very grateful for that because obviously I know there are some people out there that might not react best to the hormone replacement therapies. So I know there's some people out there that aren't, as blessed as I have been and being able to tolerate that. So I'm very blessed and grateful that I have been able to tolerate it fine and haven't had any major issues when it comes to taking my testosterone. As for, I feel like I got to talk about more because that only took about 4.5 minutes to talk about my testosterone. So I think I'll talk about a little bit about when I went down and had my top surgery done. I had to get 3 letters written of approval saying basically that I was in a good state of mind, mentally sound, and that I had everything set out and laid out. I had help for after the healing, um, and that, you know, it wasn't some sort of self-harm thing I was trying to do. So they wanted to, you know, I had to sit in therapies and talk to doctors and get, you know, letters of recommendation from 3 different doctors and therapists. After I got all that stuff done and taken care of, sent in, I had surgery scheduled, and I had my surgery scheduled in, it was 2019. Um, and it I remember getting there and down in Ann Arbor for the surgery and waiting, and them telling me, you know, it was going to be outpatient. I was going to have the surgery, and then I was gonna be able to go back home. Um, I thought it was crazy, you know, um, but I was excited. I don't really remember too much from being down there. I'm assuming that's probably because of the anesthesia. Um, but after I got home, at the time, um, I had drain tubes in. I had one on each side coming out of my sides. Um, they were so god awful uncomfortable. Oh my god. That was probably the worst part, honestly, to me, um, was how bad those drain tubes felt. Um, but I remember the first when I got home, I all of a sudden I got so hot and dizzy, and I'm like, I had to call. I called the after hours like help number because I'm like panicking because I'm feeling this type of way. And then she's like, okay, you know, I'm like, yeah, I just wanted to call because I all of a sudden just started feeling all this. And she's like, did you just get home? What? And you just had your surgery? She said, okay, are you starting to feel better as we're talking now? Like it's starting to subside a little? I said, actually, now that you mention it, yeah, yeah, it is. And she said, okay, so this is completely normal from wearing off of the anesthesia. Okay, it can have those types of effects on the body. On the body, it's completely normal. If it persists later, give us a call back. But right now, what you're feeling is normal. But since it's calming down, I would say I think we're okay. Do you feel like you're doing okay? And I was like, yeah, okay. Now I'm okay. Now I know it's normal. So we're good. And I had the drain tubes in for at least a week. And that made it very hard to sleep. I slept in a reclining chair, because I couldn't lay down to and physically be able to pull myself up due to the surgery that I had. You know, it was impossible to pull yourself up with your weight and whatnot. You couldn't do all of that. So I needed to be able to be laying propped up so I could just easily get up, you know. And after I got the drain tubes out, I went down to get my drain tubes out, and they had to, you know, obviously check all of this stuff because when they had to literally cut my nipples off and cut them to size because men's nipples and women's nipples are different. Okay, so they literally had to cut mine off, put them back on there, and so while I'm down there and they're taking out some of the sutures in some of the places, I literally thought the one nurse was gonna rip my one nipple off because it got like snagged, and then she dropped it, and then the thing's just like hanging there. Oh my god, it hurts so bad. Oh, it was the worst. It was the worst. And then you know, but I handled it really good. I'm just like, she's like, I am so sorry. Yeah, it was not a good time. And then when they go to pull the drain tubes out, oh, it just felt like they pull it, and I felt like it's sticking and stuck, and then they got to pull it out some more, and I'm like, oh god, took my breath away. But all that pain and all that shit that I went through, I'm telling you, it was worth it because I feel great. I no longer have these big old C cup boobies hanging off of my chest. I have a flat chest, and I feel great about it. My surgeon did a phenomenal job, and I'm ever so grateful for him. Um, so I it was an experience for sure. And it was definitely something that, like, if you're going through it, if you are a trans man or a trans woman, whatever the case may be, and if you have a surgery scheduled or planned or you want one, like, definitely make sure that you do have support, and make sure it's a consistent support that's there for you. Because a lot of the stuff can be mental, you know what I'm saying? And if you're going through it alone, it makes it even harder. So definitely having somebody that's there and that's consistent will help. Because even during my, like, healing period, like, yeah, at the time I might have been with somebody else, and then we were getting married, and I thought it was great. But for majority of my healing, I was left alone, and I dealt with it alone. Other than her draining my drain tubes, she didn't do much for me during my healing. I took care of that myself. I got up and did my own shit, you know, made sure I was walking every couple hours because I didn't want any blood clots to form. I took care of myself. But that's okay. You know, I made it. At the end of the day, I made it, and I'm better off for it. As for bottom surgery, that is not something I actually plan on doing at this time, because I've talked to a few surgeons, and, like, the surgeons that I have talked to, they the surgeries that they do have out there, they have said that, you know, I'm like, basically from what I've read, like, the understanding is that, like, basically I'd be able to stand to pee, right? But I wouldn't really be able to use it for penetration. Is that correct? And the surgeons and doctors that I have talked to have said, yes, that is correct. Like, at this time, this is what, you know. I'm like, all right, so, like, at this time, then no. For me, I'm a no. Because what is the point in that? What is, I just don't see the appeal, especially with the fact that, I mean, I guess I'm thankful enough to have a woman who is appreciative of what I have. And even though it's different than what it was, for sure. I don't have the same thing females have. It is different. But it might not be what you consider, you know, average. But we work, okay? That's all that matters there. So until they come up with something better, you know, where I can actually use it for that too, I have declined to go through another surgery like that. Because it's going to be grueling and intense. And what is the point in putting yourself through all of that to not really be able to fully use it for all the functions? If I'm going through all this and it's going to be grueling, it's going to work, and it's going to work proper. All right. That's kind of my take on that. As for, I want to have surgery to have all the inside shit removed, just so I don't have to worry ever, you know, about the cramping stuff, and God forbid ever missing a shot dose, and, you know, potentially having a cycle happen again. Yeah. So that's why I want to have all that stuff, you know, removed. But other than that, that's kind of where I'm at with my life and the surgeries and all that jazz. Sorry if this is a little just, like, rando, but I just wanted to get something out there. Because, again, I'm trying to do better at uploading and getting information out there. But if there are any questions, comments, thoughts, or concerns, please feel free to reach out to me. And I would love to make another video answering them, or even just chit-chatting if, you know, you did have any questions and wanted somebody to talk to. So thank you again. I appreciate y'all for listening.